How can you make life exciting? Great question. Thank you. My name is Casius B, and today we're going to talk about this question. How can you make life exciting? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to theorize, we're going to think up possibilities, and I'm going to share one of these possibilities with you all. Now, you don't have to believe what I say. As a matter of fact, I would love for you not to believe what I say and think about it yourself instead. But as with all things, you can get inspiration from it. And inshallah, may I inspire you to think of your own way to make life exciting, your own theory. Now, how do you make life exciting? Big question. And what do I mean with exciting? Let's start there. Exciting means, it's more a feeling. Exciting means that you feel like you're there, like you're doing it. You're actually living life, which can easily be numbed, the feeling that is, by the regular patterns in the day-to-day, the regular addictions in the day-to-day that pretty much decide your life. I read somewhere that life is basically, for a lot of people who don't think, is just patterns and addictions that repeat themselves on and on. And if you think about it, yeah, for a lot of people it is. Whether you go to school, the pattern, or to work, you're just busy all day with other people's things. And then maybe you have an addiction. You like to watch a certain show. You like to go to a pool bar or a cafe or whatever. Could be your addiction. And that's your life. On and on and on and on. To me, it doesn't sound that exciting. And I know that it is not that exciting because I've been doing that. And worse, even. To take you into my world a little bit, what life is for me is waking up, obviously, training, working, reading a book, going to bed, and doing it all again. Now, you're clearly working towards something, but oftentimes it can feel like you're doing nothing at all, and you're just wasting away your precious time. Man, does that suck. And oftentimes you'll get this feeling by comparing to others. Bad habit of mine is social media, ironically enough. But what you see on social media, so people who live a very extravagant life, and you think, what the fuck am I doing? Pretty much. What am I doing? What have I been doing that they are there? People my age, even younger sometimes. The fuck have I been doing that they are there and I am here? Doing nothing else, seeing nothing else aside from these four walls and my screen. It makes you go un poco loco. Yeah, it does. But that's only when comparing. And comparison, wise man once said, comparison is the theft of all joy. And it is really true, really true. So, the beginning of living an exciting life starts with stopping to compare to others. Stop comparing yourself to others, because it adds absolutely nothing to what you are doing, brother. Nothing, absolutely nothing. So stop comparing yourself to others. That's step one. That's what I've realized. And after that, I noticed I'm still not happy. Man, I could have been doing so much more this day. And I should be here already. I see myself in an entirely different place, state of being, state of mind. And I just look at that, and I separate it. I separate myself from it and look at it as a bright future where I'm not yet at, where I should be in already. I should be there already. Now, it's this is also comparing. You compare your current now with your past, with your supposed future. You make that up, of course, but your expectations of the future. So one of the things that can make you fairly unhappy is looking at the past too much and looking at the future too much. And that has to do with accepting the past, accepting what has happened in the past and that you can't change it anymore, and accepting that the future is up to the present. Right. So now we're here. We're in the present. Big shift of thinking already. This took a while. Let me tell you. We are in the present though. We can breathe. And in the present, you can start to enjoy things. And that has to do with a frame. And I read in a book, people call it paradigm maybe, but a frame. Everything has to do with a frame, or the way you see the world. And then you can look at activities as these big challenges that are upcoming, big challenges, negative things, and you can look at things as positive things, exciting things maybe. Now, you can see a lot when somebody says, oh, I have to work. I have to do this work. We absolutely have to, blah, 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 whatever. Now, if you have to do it, that's oftentimes not a good sign. When I say think back to the last thing that you did that was exciting for you, something you looked forward to doing. It can be anything, really. It can just be a day out, or maybe even going to the club, or reading a book, or talking with somebody you haven't seen in a while. Man, I can talk to him again. Oh man, I'm so happy we can go to that. We can go to that theme park. I am so happy. I can. I want to. Instead of I have to. Big change of looking at the activities you're doing. So, where we are at right now is we don't look at the past as regretful past, and we don't look at our future expectations as we should have been there already. Aside from just that, in the present, we are looking at everything, or we're trying to look at everything from a positive perspective, a positive frame. Man, I'm happy I created this opportunity for myself. Also something, you gotta take responsibility for where you are at right now, which has to do with the accepting part as well. It goes hand in hand. But if you take responsibility for where you are at right now, you'll start doing the things that move you forward. So, we are in this state, in the present, very positive and responsible. Now, where do we want to go? Big question. What are we going to spend the present on to create a future with? And for this, you got to stop looking outside of yourself. Also, the reason why you should stop comparing, because what other people have is not necessarily what you really want. But because you see them being happy with what they have, you might think, man, I will be happy if I have what they have as well. But maybe for you it's different, because you are a different person. And this is something big. And this might be the crux of the whole story, as a matter of fact. That you are, well, you could look at yourself as a painting, as a blank canvas. And when you're born, you put on a few stripes on this canvas with a few different colors you like. And then when you come into contact with your parents, they put their colors on there. And your aunties and your grandmas and your grandpas, they put their colors on there. Your first few friends and girlfriends, they put their colors on there. Your teachers, they start painting on the painting as well. And if you know what happens when you mix too many colors, it turns into this brownish weird color. And that's why everyone is the same. Everyone is so boring and unauthentic because they have let themselves being painted over so many times by so many different people. And everybody has turned into just this canvas with this brownish color. Nothing authentic about it anymore. It was beautiful to begin with when it was just your colors, maybe a few others, but now it's just turned into this concation of all of people's opinions, and you should do this and you should find this and this should be important to you. And don't judge yourself so hardly for becoming this painting, because well, the skill to take in and to distance yourself from opinions is something you got to learn, and they got to you at a young age. So well, everybody has their stripes, right? Now, one thing can save you from this, and that is the thing I'm holding right now. Al-Kalam in Arabic, or in English, the pen. And the pen can help you. How? Well, you can write down what you think, why you think it, and where you think it comes from. And only when writing things down, you can really funnel your thoughts and go deep in what you need to discover. Most valuable possession I have, the pen. And when you'll start discovering yourself and why you think things and reconsider why you think these things, that is when you'll start finding what you really think is important. And that is when you can start spending the present in a useful manner. Something that is for you, that is exciting for you. Now, in order to cleanse the painting of all the colors and extract all the colors you don't want on there, you need to be able to be wrong. For me, very difficult. I'm quite a stubborn person, and that's why it took a little longer, but you got to be able to, well, not trust your own opinions, because they might not be your own. And it is so important what you think, because what you think is what you will become. And that's why you need to be very critical with all new information coming in. Hey, is this something I agree with or not? And being able to distance yourself from it, but especially with everything you already know and think and feel. Everything could be wrong. Everything could be somebody else's color. Only when doing this task, so writing everything down, you can really find that purpose you need in life to make the present exciting. And when you have these things, well, you'll just go. Like an arrow that has been released, you just go until you hit your target. If you find your purpose and if you can really get into the present, that is. Now, obviously, like I said at the beginning, I might be completely wrong, might be completely off, miles away. But this is what I have experienced and what I have cooked up and what I've read about a lot, at least parts of what I said. And I'm really curious, what do you think? How can you make life more exciting? If you want to talk about this more, you can always reach out to me on Instagram. Casius B. And if you feel like you could share your opinion about this, or maybe you have an insightful thought about this, a compliment, an insult, anything, you can share it in the comments. Now, if you've been thinking about this question a lot, or maybe you know of somebody who thinks of this question or likes these types of questions, I would love it if you share the video. Well, absolute blessed rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one.